They say aging dims the fire inside you. But what if that flame could be reignited, starting with something as simple as what's on your plate? Have you ever wondered why your energy fades, your confidence dips, or intimacy feels like it's slipping away? Silently, year by year. And what if the solution isn't a pill or a procedure, but something you've walked past in your kitchen dozens of times without realizing it could bring your vitality back to life? They say getting older means slowing down, but no one tells you where that slowdown begins. For many men, it starts not with the knees or the back, but with something far more personal: your manhood. If you've noticed fewer morning erections, moments of closeness that feel incomplete, or energy that vanishes faster than it used to, the truth is hard to ignore. And it's not just in your mind, it's in your blood. Tiny blood vessels, especially the ones in the pelvic region, are among the first to narrow and clog with age, and once those pathways start to close, blood can't reach the places that need it most, leaving you feeling frustrated, disconnected, and quietly defeated. I'm Dr. James, and for over 30 years, I've helped men rediscover their confidence, their energy, and their intimacy, without pills, surgery, or shame. Today, I want to share something surprisingly simple yet profoundly effective. In certain parts of the world, men in their 70s are still enjoying vibrant, passionate sex lives, thanks to 4 everyday types of nuts that restore circulation and enhance intimacy naturally. Yes, nuts. These aren't exotic superfoods or rare supplements. They're real, accessible, and scientifically backed. Each one works in its own way to improve blood flow, raise nitric oxide levels, and help men feel like themselves again. Stick with me, because I'll walk you through all 4. And near the end, I'll show you which one mimics the exact same pathway as prescription medication, but naturally and without the side effects. Before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you never miss another video tailored specifically to men over 60. And if this message speaks to you already, drop a 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, drop a 0 and let me know how I can serve you better. Now let's begin with what I call the blood flow king, the first and perhaps most powerful nut for reviving your energy and performance. 1. Walnuts. The blood flow king. I'll never forget Robert, a 67-year-old retired teacher who came into my office with tears in his eyes. "Doc," he said, voice trembling, "it's not just about sex. It's about feeling like a man again." His words cut deep. Not from embarrassment, but from a quiet sadness, the kind that comes from feeling disconnected from his wife and, more painfully, from himself. What Robert didn't know then is that his struggle wasn't just about age, it was about circulation, and that's where walnuts come in. Walnuts may seem like a simple snack, but they're one of the most powerful foods for restoring healthy blood flow, especially to the most sensitive, vulnerable parts of a man's body. The arteries that supply the penis are among the smallest in the body. They're often the first to clog, restricting blood flow, dulling sensation, and quietly stealing the very spark that defines closeness. So what makes walnuts so effective? They're loaded with L-arginine, an amino acid that your body uses to produce nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and opens blood vessels, improving circulation where it's needed most. In addition, walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants, both of which reduce inflammation in blood vessel walls and support overall vascular health. This 1-2 punch, better nitric oxide production and reduced inflammation, leads to stronger, longer-lasting erections, improved sensation, and renewed confidence. And for men like Robert, just a small handful a day created a shift that felt like a second chance. And here's the best part. They're easy to find, easy to eat, and delicious. No pills, no procedures. Just a natural daily step toward feeling alive again. But if walnuts are the king of blood flow, the next nut on our list is what I like to call the bedroom booster. In fact, clinical research has shown measurable improvement in sexual satisfaction in just 3 weeks. Curious? Let's take a closer look in the next section. 2. Pistachios. The bedroom booster. Coming off our talk about walnuts and blood flow, let's dive into something a little more surprising. Something small, green, and absolutely essential if you want your confidence back. A few years ago, I met a man named Gerald, 72 years old, kind eyes, and a quiet voice. He said something I'll never forget. I didn't mind the gray hair or the slower mornings, but what really broke me was the silence in the bedroom. That silence, he told me, wasn't about love fading. It was about confidence disappearing. That quiet space where intimacy used to live had turned into a wall of self-doubt. Like so many men his age, Gerald thought it was just getting older. But when we dug deeper, we found the real problem. Restricted blood flow to the area that matters most. And believe it or not, pistachios were the missing piece. Pistachios may seem like just another snack, but inside that shell is a powerful cocktail of nutrients, L-arginine, healthy fats, and potent antioxidants that directly support vascular health and help the body produce more nitric oxide. And as we've said before, nitric oxide is the compound that relaxes and expands blood vessels, especially in the penis. It allows blood to move freely, which means stronger, more reliable erections. But here's where it gets even better. Pistachios don't just work in theory, they've been clinically studied. In one landmark study, men who added pistachios to their daily diet for just 3 weeks saw dramatic improvements in erection strength, satisfaction, and overall confidence. When I told Gerald about that, he shrugged and said, "What do I have to lose?" He started with a small handful of unsalted pistachios every morning. A month later, he walked into my office smiling, a different man. "It's not perfect," he said, "but it's back, and that means everything." That's the quiet power of pistachios. They don't force anything. They don't act like medication. Instead, they gently clear the microvessels, restore natural flow, and let your body remember what it's capable of. And just when you think that's impressive, wait until you hear about the next nut. Because while pistachios help open the road, this next one fuels the engine behind your desire. Let's talk about the hormone helper. 3. Almonds. The hormone helper. Not long ago, during a routine follow-up, a man named Thomas, 68 years old, leaned in across the desk and said something that made me stop writing. "Doc, it's not just about getting an erection. It's about feeling alive again." There was something raw and honest in his voice, and behind those words was a deeper message. A desire not just for performance, but for presence, strength, and that deep-rooted connection to the man he used to be. And for Thomas, like so many others, that journey began with something incredibly simple: a handful of almonds. Almonds are often dismissed as just a healthy snack, but beneath that crunchy shell lies a powerful ally for men over 60. What makes almonds exceptional is their high levels of magnesium and vitamin E, 2 key nutrients that support testosterone production, reduce inflammation, and help repair aging blood vessels. And here's the connection. Testosterone isn't just about libido. It plays a vital role in vascular function, working alongside nitric oxide to keep blood vessels relaxed and responsive. Without it, even the best intentions can fall flat. Almonds also provide monounsaturated fats, which lower bad cholesterol and help keep arterial walls flexible. That's critical because the arteries in the penis are tiny, so small that even a slight buildup of plaque can block blood flow, weakening erections and slowly chipping away at confidence. When Thomas added a handful of almonds to his daily routine, he didn't expect fireworks. But over the weeks, something shifted. More energy, warmer hands and feet. And then, one day, he came in, grinning. "Doc, it feels like my body's working again." That's not coincidence. That's the slow return of vitality, restored blood flow, better hormone balance, and renewed confidence, all from something as simple as almonds. But while almonds rebuild the foundation, the next nut delivers something even more profound. A missing nutrient most men don't realize they need, and it only takes one a day. You'll want to hear this. If you're still with me and finding this helpful, drop a number 1 in the comments so I know you're here, engaged, and ready to reclaim what matters most. Let's keep going. Point number 4 is coming up next. 4. Brazil nuts. The circulation secret weapon, just one nut. That's all it took to change Marvin's life. I remember the day clearly. Marvin, 74, sat quietly across from me and said, "Dr. Carter, I'm not chasing youth. I just want to feel like a man who can still show up for his wife. It was one of the most honest and deeply human things I'd ever heard. Because it wasn't about performance. It wasn't about ego. It was about presence. About being able to look in the mirror and still feel capable, alive, and worthy of connection. For Marvin, that turning point came from a simple addition to his daily routine. A single Brazil nut. No fanfare, no prescription, just one nut, once a day. You see, Brazil nuts are often overlooked. They don't have the bold color of pistachios or the fame of almonds. But inside that rough shell lies one of nature's most potent secrets for older men. Selenium. Selenium is a trace mineral, and most men, especially those over 60, are unknowingly deficient in it. Why is that important? Because selenium plays a vital role in testosterone production, antioxidant protection, and, most crucially, the elasticity of blood vessels. Low selenium levels are linked to increased inflammation, stiffer arteries, and poor microcirculation, especially in intimate areas like the penis. And here's the real danger. Even mild selenium deficiency can quietly disrupt blood flow, undermine erectile strength, and throw hormone levels off balance, without you even realizing it. But the good news is this. One Brazil nut contains your full daily requirement of selenium. Just one. That small act, done consistently, can help repair delicate vessel walls, enhance nitric oxide production, and restore circulation where it matters most. When Marvin added Brazil nuts to his routine, he wasn't expecting miracles. But over the following weeks, something started to shift. He told me, I feel more awake. Not just physically, but emotionally. Like I'm back in the room again. That's what real healing feels like. Not dramatic, not loud, but steady, powerful, and profoundly meaningful. Brazil nuts don't just support blood flow. They help unlock your body's natural ability to heal, restore, and recalibrate. And sometimes, all it takes is that one small step to spark lasting transformation. So now you've met all four: walnuts, pistachios, almonds, and Brazil nuts. Each one plays its own role in this symphony of male wellness. But if you've been wondering, how do I actually bring this all together, or is it too late for me? Then listen closely, because what comes next may be the most important message of all. 5. The truth about healing blood flow. After 60, you've heard the stories, you've seen the science. But now it's time to connect the dots, because, while each of these four nuts works powerfully on its own, something remarkable happens when you bring them together. We're not just talking about improving intimacy. We're talking about restoring your body's ability to circulate life itself, oxygen, hormones, energy, and confidence. Here's what most men don't realize. The first signs of aging don't usually show up in the heart. They show up in the smallest vessels, especially those in the pelvis. These vessels are tiny, delicate, and incredibly easy to clog with even minor plaque buildup. And once they narrow, everything else follows. Weaker erections, colder extremities, foggier thinking, and that creeping sense that your spark is slipping away. But here's the good news. These four nuts work together like a team. Walnuts open the vessels with nitric oxide. Pistachios reduce restriction and improve performance. Almonds nourish your hormones and repair arteries. Brazil nuts restore selenium and protect long-term vascular health. Together, they target every stage of blood flow dysfunction, from inflammation and stiffness to hormonal decline and emotional distance. The result? More circulation, more energy, more connection. Not just in the bedroom, but in your everyday life. This is about more than erections. This is about feeling like yourself again. Clear-headed, present, capable, confident, and connected to the person you love most. And if right now you're thinking, but what if it's too late for me? I want you to know, I've heard that question 1,000 times. And my answer has never changed. If you're still breathing, it's never too late. The body has an astonishing ability to heal, if you give it the right tools. And that leads us to what you've been waiting for. 6. Your daily plan to reclaim circulation, confidence, and connection. The beauty of this plan? It's simple. No pills, no surgeries, no complicated regimens. Just 4 humble foods, easily found at any grocery store, and a few minutes of consistency each day. Here's what I recommend to every man over 60 who walks into my office, walnuts, 4 to 5 daily, for nitric oxide and vessel dilation. Pistachios, a small unsalted handful, for bedroom performance and blood flow. Almonds, 6 to 8 daily, for hormone support and artery repair. Brazil nut, just 1. That's all it takes to restore selenium and protect your sexual health. That's it. A handful of nuts, a few mindful bites, and the shift begins. This isn't hype. This is the path hundreds of my patients have taken, and they're thriving. Now remember the nut I mentioned earlier that mimics a little blue pill? That's the walnut. Its ability to stimulate nitric oxide is the same mechanism ED medications use, but naturally, gently, and without side effects. No prescriptions, no shame, just food as medicine. And the men who commit to this plan don't just report better intimacy, they report better life, more energy, better mood, more connection, more laughter, more living. So if you've been waiting for a place to start, start here. This is your moment. This is your signal. 4 nuts. 1 plan. A brand new chapter. If this message touched you, or if you know someone it could help, click like, share this video, and drop a comment below. Type, "I'm not done" if you're ready to reclaim your strength, your connection, and your confidence. 1 bite at a time. This is Wise Elders Legacy, and we're here to help you live every year with strength, purpose, and heart.